Tiny Glade is a game that firmly sits within the cozy genre. It's been in development for 2 years and started as a weekend project to create procedural walls, and then went on to be a project run by two people, Anna and Tom, under the studio named Pounce Light Games. The whole game, from the appearance to the game type to the development, all just feels incredibly wholesome and fills you with warmth as you start to build up your tiny glade. I love this game. Tiny Glade does not have any objectives, requirements, or goals. You simply have a patch of land and you can build whatever you want with the tools at your disposal. It's kind of like a procedurally generated Lego set that is castle themed. The game has no grid system, which gives you incredible amounts of freedom when building. In a lot of building games, you're stuck within the confines of a grid, which doesn't mean you can't make things look good, but it limits creativity and everything starts to look boxy very quickly. The procedural generation is amazing. Where in other games you would have to build an archway and then a path under it, you just build a wall and then the archway will automatically generate itself. Want a winding wall with multiple archways? The thought of creating something so complex in another game would be daunting, but due to how well the procedural system is set up, it's so simplified that it's just a joy to create something like that. You think with the amount of things that could happen when you do something, you'd run into a lot of scenarios where you're fighting against the system, but it's just so well done that I never found myself fighting against it. It just felt incredibly intuitive. There's an amazing camera mode that just brought me back to my photography days. You can adjust the time of day, the sun angle, and when the full game comes out, you can adjust the weather. Combined with the fact that you have full camera control with aperture adjustment to change the depth of field, you can change the lens from being wide angle to full zoomed, and even the focus point, you will always be able to capture amazing photos of your creation. The graphics in Tiny Glade are outstanding. This is a game made on a homemade engine by two developers, so everything is built from the ground up. Yet even though it's not built on top of something like Unreal Engine, it looks absolutely stunning and performs incredibly well. Now, I didn't really check my FPS because it's just not that kind of game, but it all felt incredibly smooth and had no slowdown at all. And you can just see how beautiful it is by watching this video. The audio is also super relaxing, from the ambience to all the little sound effects when you build or demolish things. This could easily be an ASMR experience. In terms of longevity, if you're the target audience for this game, then I think you could easily lose yourself in this game. Even just during the demo on the tiny plot, I knocked down my creation multiple times as I kept learning new things and wanted to restart with my newfound knowledge. The plot gets significantly larger on release, which would allow you to build little villages or giant castles. I'm sure if you're into this game, creating one village is not going to be enough, as you'll want to move on to your next idea when you realize what's possible. Overall, Tiny Glade is peak cozy game. If you just enjoy building with no strings attached like goals, objectives, or unlocks, this might be your favorite game ever. I can't really say anything bad about this game as it's just so well made down to every detail, and assuming they bring that attention to detail to everything included in the full release, it really is perfect for the target audience. The reason why I say target audience is because the only thing I can say as a con to this game isn't really a con, and that is because there is no progression, objectives, or goals. It's definitely made for a certain type of creative person. If you need things in games to spur you on, this is absolutely not the game for you. I give the demo version of this game a 10 out of 10. I hope and believe that the full version will also be a 10 out of 10, as all they need to do is continue to expand on what they already have.